Next on Worcester News tonight, an inmate at the Worcester County House of Corrections walks away from an outside work detail. Law enforcement says he was captured 12 hours later. Plus, on a day recognizing Purple Heart recipients, we hear one man's story of being in Iraq. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Lemon. A hot and humid day across the city and storms are rolling through parts of the region. A severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 9 p.m. tonight. Let's get a first look at our local forecast for more.
Yeah, it's a pretty stormy evening. This was early in the day. This was just after about 1 o'clock in Southampton, Massachusetts. This storm generated winds to 60 miles per hour and torrential rain. That storm moved into New Hampshire, missing us to the west for the most part. Thank you, Lauren Hyde, for sharing that video. Meteorology student at what used to be called Lyndon State College. So we still have the storm threat pretty much all night long. Temperatures in the 70s. The air is coming from the south, one storm after another, and each of these storms is capable of the same thing we just saw in that video. Wind gusting past 60 miles an hour, torrential downpours. Here's a rough estimate, 11:45. It looks like we may have some training storms. So one storm can come in with the lightning and the wind and the rain, and then another one can come in a half hour later. You add a few of those on top of one another, you get 3 or 4 inches of rain, you get the flash flooding. It's mostly right in the middle of the night for the worst rain. By morning, about sunrise or so, most of it's to the east. And look at, we have some sunshine coming out. Looks like the temperature is going to be holding around 70 as the sun comes up. It's going to be a sticky day. We're going to get to 80 or better by noontime. And then a few more scattered showers or non-severe thunderstorms are likely late in the day tomorrow. So we have more to talk about for tonight, and wait till you see the weekend outlook with the 10-day in a few minutes.
The Worcester County House of Corrections is reviewing their security measures after an inmate walked off the property. They say he was found 12 hours later, but want to be sure something like this doesn't happen again. Our Gretchen LaRosa joins us live from the House of Corrections now with the details. Gretchen.
Olivia, the inmate who escaped Tuesday told officers he wanted to attend his daughter's birthday party. He was located and recaptured roughly 4 miles from where he took off. An inmate from the Worcester County Jail and House of Correction walked away from an outside work detail Tuesday morning. He had been involved in the work release program. Superintendent David Tuttle says being a part of the program is a luxury for select inmates.
There are inmates that are getting ready. We're preparing them for release, and these are rehabilitative programs that they can participate in to help them turn their lives around and maybe get some work experience. And it was obviously this inmate quite wasn't ready for that yet.
The inmate was able to escape through a wooded area outside the jail. Tuttle says there are 3 officers to every 5 inmates when they are farming. He says anyone with violent or serious offenses are not considered for the job.
Because of his past, he wasn't an inmate that was known to be violent or that we had to have a concern in the neighborhood for. We would not allow one of those inmates to be in this program.
The inmate is in jail for breaking and entering and minor drug offenses. Because of the escape, he'll now face additional charges.
This gentleman now is going to be charged with escape, and he'll face more time in prison. And he won't, going forward, he'll never have the opportunity to work out here again.
Now, the superintendent says it's standard protocol to notify local police departments in an event such as this. He also says there hasn't been an escape incident in the past 10 years. Live in West Boylston, Gretchen LaRosa, Worcester News Tonight.
Southborough police are asking for the public's help identifying 2 masked robbers. Surveillance video shows the suspects crawling around inside Sperry's liquor, trying to avoid being seen by the cameras. Police say they responded around 8:30 in the morning on July 29th. The video shows the robbers in the store 4 hours earlier carrying dark bags. Police say they stole a large amount of cigarettes and liquor and may be responsible for similar crimes in Millbury and Northborough. If you have any information, you are asked to call police. Citing challenging economic conditions, the Red Cross is tentatively stopping its mobile blood drive operations in central and western Massachusetts. The Red Cross says they want to ensure long-term sustainability. They say consolidating their operations will help deliver, quote, cost-effective and reliable products and services for patients in need. The Red Cross will continue to collect blood and platelet donations at donation centers in Springfield and Worcester. National Purple Heart Day commemorates the creation of the oldest American military decoration for military merit. The Purple Heart honors military heroes who were either wounded on the battlefield or paid the ultimate sacrifice. In Worcester, Veterans Inc. says there are several veterans who have received the merit. Our Brittany Schaefer spoke with one today and joins us now with his story. Brittany.
Olivia, Alex Arriaga was awarded the Purple Heart after he was overseas in Iraq in a spot he didn't expect to combat.
This is actually shrapnel from the explosion.
Alex Arriaga was awarded a Purple Heart while in Iraq when he was about 23 years old. He says it's hard to recount the day he almost lost his life.
I docked, the rocket landed, and the explosion was in front of me. It kind of pushed me back. Things were like slow motion. I felt real loud ring in my ears. When I took the boonie cap I was wearing off, blood just started coming down.
Arriaga's head was cut open from a piece of scrap metal during the explosion. He says he was at a detainment facility where there wasn't supposed to be any combat.
It was supposed to be a lot safer, and we didn't wear any protective gear. You may be in a quote-unquote safe place, but you're still in very much real danger, no matter where you are.
Arriaga made it out of the facility with his two fellow soldiers holding him up. He says luckily no one else was hurt in the attack. Days later, he received the nation's oldest military award, the Purple Heart.
This is really a huge honor that many people that receive it actually don't come back, so I felt really fortunate that I was still alive.
Arriaga now works at Veterans Inc. On National Purple Heart Day, his colleague Aaron Stelmack says it's important to pause and remember the sacrifices veterans make.
We owe Alex and every Purple Heart recipient a debt of gratitude, as well as every man and woman that has served or is currently serving our country, because they are truly America's bravest.
Today, we should honor those who have given the ultimate sacrifice, and keep in mind that those that have it still to this day suffer from some of those same issues that were hunting them then and are continuing to hunt them now.
Arriaga says he is still feeling the effects of his injuries. He still suffers from pain, migraines, and memory issues from his head injury. Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
The Worcester Regional Research Bureau names their new director. Paul Matthews is the current executive director of the 495 Metro West Partnership. He starts at the Research Bureau next month. Matthews will replace Timothy McGorthy, who resigned from the Bureau in February to become Deputy State Secretary of Housing and Economic Development. Massachusetts voters may again be asked to weigh in on the so-called right to repair law. A group says it's filing an initiative petition to update a state law approved by voters in 2012. The law requires car manufacturers to share diagnostic and repair information with independent repair shops. The legislation would further protect car owners' rights to choose where they have their cars repaired. Now to Decision 2020, former Vice President Joe Biden continuing his status as the frontrunner in the race for president. According to a new poll from Quinnipac University, Biden has support from 32% of Democrats and independent voters who lean left. Senator Elizabeth Warren has 21% of support, and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders trails in third with 14%. Compared to a poll from last month, Warren and Sanders saw big gains, while Biden's support dipped slightly. The Worcester Senior Center commemorating the 50th anniversary of the Woodstock Music Festival. The musical band Throwback to the 60s performed songs for seniors. The band is set to play in Bethel, New York for the Woodstock commemoration. Many in the crowd wore tie-dye shirts they made last week to celebrate.
This is one of the best events we've had here at the Worcester Senior Center, because everyone was really engaged and we attracted baby boomers to come as well.
And the singing nurse Shirley McAfee is performing in 2 weeks at the center. She will also include memories from Woodstock.